is that? Oh, right there?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we saying Happy New Year?
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest talk radio show around, providing an open discussion for some of the most important social issues and trending topics today. From personal growth or spirituality to sex and relationships, no subject is ever taboo. So prepare to be empowered, enlightened, and entertained during another episode of the award-winning Let's Face It with Will Strayhorn and Friends. Real people, real topics, real talk.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back, everybody. This is the premiere of Season 7 of Let's Face It with Will Strayhorn and Friends. And we're coming to you live on the campus of Old Dominion University. I'm in the studio with the beautiful Miss Paula B. Hey, babe.
Hey, how are you?
Your voice.
I know.
Whoa.
I know. It sounds terrible. I thought it sounded kind of sexy, though.
You did? Okay.
I thought.
All right, we'll go with that for the day. All right. How your mic doing? How you doing?
You're, hello?
It's good? Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. And then we have my boy Mike. We're going to hear more about him. And Miss Nikki. Miss Nikki, you're really losing weight, boo. You look good.
Oh, thank you.
You look good. So we have world's greatest publicist, Nikki Curry, is also in the studio. And we are back. We have a new sound engineer, Miss Jada Carson. You know our boy Kevon Robinson graduated.
Yes.
Congrats to him. But we have Miss Jada Carson. I love her already. I
Yeah,
love
me
her spirit.
too.
Her energy is
Yeah.
good. She is a communication major. Same degree I got from right here. Media studies, right?
Media studies.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Basically, I'm a communications major. I was a part of the radio program in my high school. I got my audio production degree there, and I'm excited to see what WODU has in store for me and what this show has in store for me as well.
You know what? I'm so impressed because you came in. You said you came in, made sure the mics was all right, and got everything ready. I've been checking you out. So thank you. I'm glad to have you on board for until May, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna have fun, and as
for the
always,
opportunity.
hopefully we were always doing a little bit talking about some hot topics, and you were passionate about a couple of things. So we invite you to join in the discussion so we can get your perspective
All
on
right.
things. But New Year.
New
We're
Year.
24 days already into the new year already. It's like flying by. We'll be in
can't believe it.
February in no time.
I know.
How'd y'all make out in the snow?
I
Stayed
did.
in the house.
You stayed in the house?
Yes, sir.
Did you?
Yeah, I stayed in the house, had cabin fever, lost power.
Oh, you did?
Yes, we lost power. It was crazy. It was very chilly.
Did you lose
then-
power?
Yes.
For how long?
It was for like over 12 hours.
Did you lose power?
No.
I never lost power. Did you take it seriously when they first said it was coming? I didn't. I thought it was
did?
one of those things where, sometimes there's hurricanes, so everybody go out and buy everything out the stores and then nothing happened. That's what I did. So like 2 days later, after I starved for 2 days, I had to I sent you the picture of that big fur coat on
Right,
with
yep.
my boots,
Yep.
walking through the snow the right day to get some canned soup and all this stuff. I was like, you know what, next time. So when that other snow came, I did get prepared. But you said there's more snow on its
Yes,
way.
I understand today from my colleagues that there's more snow on its way. I guess a storm is coming from somewhere. So we're probably in store for one more, they said, one more snowstorm. And this is the worst place ever because I'm from Connecticut. So, where they have all the plows and they treat the roads. Here, these side roads were so terrible. My cul-de-sac was like an ice rink. I mean, you couldn't even really get out. And, I don't like to drive anyway, and I'm definitely not driving in the snow. Cars fishtailing, accidents all over the place. And Virginia Beach Boulevard, Island Road, the major roads, they didn't touch them. Horrible.
Anybody set any goals? I don't like to say resolutions, but any New Year goals? Anybody?
Yes,
You did? What you do?
Definitely.
And have 24 days in. Are you still?
Oh, have I done it in 24 days?
Are you on track?
I'm on track.
You're on track for it. Okay. What about you?
I didn't set any goals this year.
Why?
I don't know because I didn't. I'm just open. I'm open to all opportunities that's coming my way. It has been prophesied to me to take all opportunities because I have some great things ahead of me.
Okay.
So as the opportunities come in, I'm going to
them.
take them, big or small, and I'm excited about every last one of them.
What about you, Jada?
I didn't really set any resolutions for myself, but I just want to get a 4.0 GPA for this semester.
Oh, all right.
I'm going for it, so hopefully
That's
it happens.
good. That's good. What's your
That's
best
good.
subject, do you think?
My best subject, communication.
Really? Okay. Okay, makes sense. That makes sense.
How about you?
You know what, I'm so excited about 2018. Last year, like November, I was starting to get excited, and I'm on track for everything that I've set. I think my biggest thing is, I joined Weight Watchers. I've lost 6 pounds in a week. I love it. So that's like my getting in shape is like my number one goal right now, because without your health and everything, everything else is going to fall by the wayside.
Absolutely.
So I'm on set with that. Opportunities, Nikki's opening up some new doors for me, and I'm pushing myself. There was a lot of things she approached me with. I was like, but then I had to come back and say, well, okay, because like you said, I don't know what I'm good at unless I try it.
Exactly.
So I'm open to a lot this year.
We have to be risk takers this year.
Risk takers.
That's
I don't know.
That's my thing. I want to be a risk taker this year.
You agree?
I agree.
You got
Be
me.
on my side, but okay.
If Nikki said she
Okay.
got me, she got me. Yep. Yeah, I definitely want to be a risk taker this year. And if I fail, it's going to be okay.
Because you at least tried, right?
Yeah, at least I've
No
tried.
regrets?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, a lot's going on in the
whole lot.
news today. I know Jada just gave me some new information about the U.S. Olympic doctor, whatever, just got sentenced to 40 to 175 years. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more because I didn't get a chance to read that. But the big thing that I want to talk about is my girl Monique.
Yes.
Let's pray for Monique.
What in the world?
Moment of silence for Monique. But you know what? I'm kind of torn because I can understand what she's saying, but I just don't know if I would have totally taken that deal off the table. So for those of you who have been hiding under a rock and didn't hear her, Monique, she's calling for everyone to boycott Netflix. She's citing that there are gender and color biases. She's saying that she's 50. She said that Instagram, she took to Instagram and said that they offered her $500,000 to do a comedy special. But she said her counterpart, Amy Schumer, and Dave Chappelle was offered $13 million and $20 million. Now, she said she went back to Netflix and wanted to know what was the difference in pay about. And she said that we believe that's what Monique would bring to the table, basically. And she said, well, what about my resume? And then they said, we don't go off resumes. So she said, well, then if you don't go on resumes, what makes Amy Schumer worth millions? And they said, well, she cited that she had 2 sold-out shows at Madison Square Garden and a hit summer movie. And then she said, well, is that not Amy Schumer's resume? But anyway, that's what they offered her. She went on a couple shows and did another video because she said Wanda Sykes came and approached her and said that Netflix even offered her less than $500,000 to do her special. But Monique, her big things was she said with the fact that she's had an Oscar, she's had her own sitcom, she's had movies and things like that. She couldn't take that deal because people like Tiffany Haddish, who are was the hit star from Girls Trip, they would come up and they could be offered anything and they could say, well, Monique, she has all this and we gave her $500,000 and she was happy. So with that respect, I can understand, well, I can understand it anyway because I still don't believe $500,000 worth $13 million is satisfactory. I think they should at least offered her, something in the millions. Maybe not the $13 million that Amy got because Amy is more relevant, as Jada was saying.
The number was wrong. The number was wrong, but I mean.
But what do y'all feel about it? Do you
Okay.
think she should just take it and shut up? What?
Well, what I say is that she should have taken the money because you don't turn down any dollars because you may have a lot of money in the bank, but that $500,000 would have made that a little more cushion, give you a little more cushion. Secondly, I understand that Monique brought the idea to them. Mm-hmm. They did not come to Monique to ask her for the deal. She brought the deal to Netflix. Okay. So if you think outside the box, if she was thinking outside the box and not thinking about her reputation and her ego and put all of that aside, if it were me, I would have took the $500,000, okay, because $500,000 is a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done my absolutely best, made that show thebomb.com. Made it so successful that Netflix, now you want to bring me to the table. We want to renegotiate that $500,000 because it's the big picture, okay? Then we want to incorporate other black comedians and make yourself a really huge show. So sometimes you have to be humble, and sometimes it's okay to take the back seat because you don't know what's going to be in that front seat. So I think that she missed out on her blessing, on the opportunity, just because, you want to pull rank, or I'm worth this, I'm worth that. But now you have lint in your pocket. Now you don't have anything. You don't have.
She stated that for Pressure, she only got $50,000.
Well, she wanted to take. She knew that she was only going to get $50,000 for Pressure.
And she got an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
She said, "This is enough."
Right, and that
It was bigger than what they thought it was going to be.
right, and
Yeah.
I didn't like that movie at all.
You didn't?
No.
Father? You didn't
I
like
only
that?
watched it one time and will never watch it again in life. It was depressing.
Did you read the book?
Heck no.
Oh, the book, they said the
That
book
book was so
worse.
hard to read.
Yes,
It
there's
was
no
worse.
way. That's like Beloved by Toni Morrison. I could not get to that book.
The movie was just Oprah. I love Oprah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
love
gonna say
Oprah.
nothing about Oprah. It was a wonderful movie. I love
Yeah.
Go see
yeah.
it.
Yeah, go see it.
I have a different opinion of the situation.
Okay.
Me being an entrepreneur, I can see the entrepreneur moves being made, and in the age of social media, attention is currency,
Mhm.
and so I feel like Monique did one of the greatest things she could have ever did right now for her career.
Okay.
It would just have everybody looking at her. So
Okay.
who's to say if she has a comedy special already put together, who's to say she can't sell it to BET or somebody else, and now she's gonna get more than 500,000 because people are going to watch it just off the basis
That's
that
true.
she challenged Netflix.
She became a rebel.
Yeah, but the thing of she was a
That
rebel.
was the PR.
Right, she was a rebel with Precious, and she got blackballed, and she's still in a way blackballed. So I mean, I understand what you're saying. So
they deemed her difficult to work
I
with.
understand what you're saying, but I'm disagreeing because she's already under the blackball umbrella. So to me, this is making it worse for her because she's looking like a troublemaker. Like nothing we do, nothing we offer her, she's going to be satisfied. It's always going to be something. So the best thing for her to do is to get all her coins together, produce her own show, and put it out there somewhere.
See if it gets picked
Well, the only thing that she's ever griped about, even with the Oprah and the Lee Daniels and the Tyler Perry, was it was about the money for the contract that she signed. I think that they wanted her to promote internationally.
That's true.
She fulfilled her domestic part.
She did.
But then they just wanted her to do that. She was like, she would do that, but they wanted her to pay her for it.
Right,
And
and
then
that's true.
she was just saying that she thought that Oprah would have stood up for her, and I think Tyler had made a promise, but that he didn't fulfill about giving his some portion.
400,000.
400,000 to, and she never got that.
Well,
So, I think just maybe she's the one who she's just bold enough to speak up.
yeah, but she both. That's true.
Wanda never spoke up about it, and evidently she took her money.
Yeah.
Yeah, she quiet.
Take her money.
She gonna get them coins.
I
and
mean,
she
she
very
went, she
quiet.
called and she said, "Girl, they did it to me too."
But she got
But-
that money though.
Yeah.
She's shopping on
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We looking at 500,000 like it's a lot to us.
Yeah.
We getting in a room full of like billions.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was saying to Amy Schumer. I mean, if
That's
they would have
why
offered her
I say-
$500,000,
it's like if I say clean my whole house, I'm gonna give you $5.
yeah,
It's like you gave him $100.
yeah, exactly. I feel you on that.
$5.
But that is true, and I agree with you. That is true. But once again, when does the big picture, when does the vision come in? Like, okay, I'm going to take this, but I'm going to do this, and they're going to wish that they. So what if she took the 500,000 and blew everybody's socks off? Then some other network said, "Oh my God, I seen you on
People do that
Netflix."
every-
Or would they
It-
say, "Well, she took $500,000.
Right.
We're going to offer you $600,000
Right,
Hey.
if we don't know your worth."
right, exactly.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's so many variables in there. There's so many opportunities for me that she
I'm leaning
could.
towards your decision though. She should have took the money and then made it an amazing production, and then no one could have said anything, and then people like BET would have been able to try to stipend.
Yeah.
And everything. It would have been something bigger.
I don't know if anybody's going to take her from $500,000 to $20 million. If they know that she don't care, she'll take $500,000. We're all for $550,000. You know. When are you going to get really what you want? Until you can really say no.
I mean, that's true too. But you know, just like I got you, just like when I was upset that she outed everybody about that.
Ooh, Cheryl was. She won't do that no more.
Yeah, what was it? This Christmas or that Christmas
movie?
movie?
Yeah.
Yes. Almost Christmas. So
with Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Kimberly Elise.
Yeah,
She only a side part though.
Right.
You have to compare
Did you
to
see
people
it?
like Tiffany Haddish and whatnot. Those are main parts.
It had Gabrielle.
Yeah, but she was
Kimberly
saying that
Elise, Danny Glover,
all four of them
together
didn't make $1 million.
collectively.
But for me, that was a HIPAA violation. I'm not going to go there because that's discussing everybody's salary and who wants everybody to know
Is that a violation?
For me.
Or is it just ethical? Okay.
About that too.
I mean,
I'm sure she probably got a text or a call. Yeah.
I'm
or
sure
a nice
she did.
email.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say, okay, so it's taking away all of the emotional attachments.
Mm.
Do you think that more people will watch Monique's special on Netflix now or before the scandal?
now.
Probably now.
100%, absolutely now.
Mm-hmm. Because they're gonna watch it because they're gonna see what she's gonna do,
Yeah.
and if she bombs, it's curtains.
over.
It's over.
But Jada made a good remark earlier before the show that, me and you, I don't know how old you are, but when we hear Monique come on, we say, okay, we have a history. She was back in our day. But her generation, they can relate more to Amy Schumer or whatever her name
right,
is.
because they're more relevant.
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish comes out with a special, all of my friends are going to be watching because of Girls Trip.
Yeah.
Monique, not a lot of people are going to be watching it. That's just the truth of it. But I mean.
So,
I mean,
because they did say this. That's what
money,
I think. What did she say? We think that's what Monique would bring, meaning I guess to their listener base, the audience that she would bring would be we would be worth $500,000.
She was insulted. That's what it was.
Yeah, she was.
She was. She's worth more.
Yeah.
They could have gave her about $5 million. I think $5 million.
Yeah, and then she would have, she would take it.
That's like saying we don't want you, pretty much.
Yeah.
Without saying
And
that.
she didn't like the answer that they gave her. She came to them and they gave her an answer, and she didn't like the answer. So now.
So I have a question.
She could get them temples
So
covered.
even though, so is it about your craft that you love so much that got you where you are, or is it about them coins?
It's about business. You do your craft.
It's
to
about
that's your
business.
living.
Okay, that's
I mean, when I keep seeing that and what she's probably because she's back doing shows, the clubs again.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, she has a lifestyle that she was used to having. In her show, she used to talk about the things that she used to do, and she would travel. And they have the open marriage, and I guess she would wine and dine these guys. She can't do much for $500,000 after they take taxes out.
Well, let me ask
and
you.
then she got the house in Baltimore. I think she got some companies.
Better start to sell
She's
it.
threatening her, for $500,000. Yeah, you do backflips.
I
Well, for
certainly
Monique,
will.
she's used to, a lifestyle, and I guess,
So my question to you is that, since you brought up her husband, do you think all of this backlash at Monique started with her husband?
They said somebody did comment that she needs new management.
Yeah, because it's
her
not good to
husband-
sleep with your manager.
And somebody asked her, is she not any longer represented by such and such, and it was a Caucasian guy. And she's like, no, my husband. She mentioned that in one of the interviews.
I just hope everything just goes well for her. That's my thing. But
I feel
sometimes
like it goes back to the relevance and whatnot, though. And then when you think about Dave Chappelle, he did come up with that big SNL skit. And a lot of my friends saw that skit about Donald Trump and whatnot. So he already had publicity coming in, too. A lot of people had publicity coming in. She didn't really have anything until she started rambling on Instagram. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, that's true, too, because I don't even think that, like Dave Chappelle, I think he's okay. I mean, I don't like his style at all.
I think he's okay.
He's just okay. Like, he doesn't make me
But
laugh.
like all these people that she starts talking about within her initial argument, they have credibility within the past 2 years. And she's only come out with that one movie. And I don't know a lot of people who really watched it.
But remember Dave Chappelle had that big breakdown and then went on that huge hiatus. When he came back, they were excited about it, and they started he got bank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that now, and he
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
relevant at all. So now I want to know: is it a gender thing?
Is it?
Well, she said both of them.
Now I think
Said
that's
it's
more
race and
talent-wise,
gender.
though.
You think so?
It's like if LeBron James left the league and came back versus like
Me.
Me.
Wait a minute. You don't laugh.
Close.
I can't even think of
I
something.
get the analogy though. Yeah, I
like
get it.
Jason Kidd
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I think when it comes down to the money, though, me being an entrepreneur, musician, and everything like that, I can relate to. Part of it is your craft. Part of it is you wanna, you know what I mean, get respected for your talent.
Yeah.
But then when you make it your living, you
Yeah.
wanna have to like negotiate a fair trade of value.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like I'm getting rich off of you. You know, she is wealthy, but it has to be a fair trade. I think that's what was, you know what I mean, most insulting is that it wasn't even fair, in her opinion.
Okay, so I want to ask a question. Everybody heard Oprah's speech on the Golden Globe Awards. I can't get my words out, which was totally phenomenal. So of course, the question is, if Oprah runs for president, would you vote for her?
Yes.
Because everybody just says that everybody thinks Oprah is God, and whatever she says, everybody listens to and does. She's got the golden key. She's got the golden tongue. But she has been very successful, and so far, and none of her businesses have gone bankrupt like Donald Trump's.
Even though she sold most of
What about own?
She sold most of
own. Yeah.
I love Oprah. I love Oprah.
I know. Me too.
I would call her and tell her, please don't do that.
Why would you call her and tell her that?
Don't do. I mean, look at Donald Trump. Look at.
Yeah,
You know how much he's lost. I mean, because Oprah's whole platform is on helping other people and live your best life or whatever. She's going to have to really direct her interests to run the country. And I think she'll be operating outside of her purpose.
She's better served
Yeah,
doing
in that sector, helping mankind and trying to negotiate treaties and all this kind of stuff. I think she'll hate it.
So, I don't.
It'll definitely
It probably
change the
will,
interest.
but I don't think. I think that she would be more suited to negotiate because of her platform now.
You think she
And-
does all her own negotiating?
No, I'm not saying she does her own, but what I'm saying is that people listen to Oprah. Everybody listens to Oprah. And
Do you think she does? Number one, I don't want to keep interrupting you, but do you think that all of that comes directly from Oprah's mind?
I know she makes the last decision. I mean, of course,
Right.
they're going to
She
come
said
to the
that she
table.
has 4 coaches that she consults with. All that stuff that you love and I love and post and repost, they don't originally come from Oprah's mind. She's the spokesperson.
Right.
She delivers the message, but that isn't all instinctively coming from her. She has all these people around her. I mean, top name people. What is the
Robbins,
yeah?
DJ,
What is that guy?
Maya Angelou,
Well, I hope she's not still talking to her though. Maya.
Deepak Chopra.
You
Yeah,
are funny.
Chopra.
Well, Stedman said that if the people
Yeah,
want,
that's what she
if the
said.
people want
I'm
her
sure
to
he got it.
run, she's going to do it.
I think anybody be better than what we have now.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm saying
Especially
Donald
Oprah.
Trump can be president.
Why can't Oprah?
Why can't Oprah? But I get the ethics behind it. Oprah Winfrey being the president. She doesn't have a lot of political background, but I mean,
Well, he did.
he doesn't.
He did.
So
He
I
don't.
would vote for Oprah.
I think he lost what Forbes. They proudly announced that he lost so much of his wealth because he had to back off. So that means she has to really back off from a lot of
Yeah,
what she's
gonna
doing too.
Back off a lot of money.
I mean, that's true too.
Just because of her position.
Yeah, it will conflict and interest and all
Yeah,
that
I
kind of
would.
stuff.
I think Obama, like if you seen that picture of him on the beach with Michelle.
Yeah,
I think he was like when somebody complaining about you and you doing the best that you can do.
yeah.
And you look back and you like, oh no, you have this job. Come on, take my job. You see my hair? Take the job.
Yeah, because they were showing pictures. Yeah, of Bush
They
when he
look so
came in.
happy.
Yeah, they look real happy.
Yeah.
He,
Yes, yes,
he
yes,
looks
yes,
really
yes.
happy.
What do you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, one of my topics I really wanted to touch bases on was As far as marriage in society today, do you think that it is as important as it was in the 1960s and 70s? Because I know me and my grandma had this discussion, and you get a girl pregnant, it's like, dang, you married yet? And I'm like, grandma, it's the 21st century. You don't have to be married. Man and woman can work. I believe that back in that age, it was like, because a woman didn't work, it wasn't in the workplace, then it was like, you going to pretty much
that's the right thing to do. You have
for
to,
destruction, because she can't support herself. But now that it's an equal society, it's like, we can have, a peaceful relationship and both raise a kid without being married. So my question is, like, do you think that it's as relevant to get married today in time?
Well, I don't think it's an equal society.
What you mean?
You don't think it's equal?
Hey, we just got finished talking about Monique and Will Smith and them getting more money than her.
But no, it was a woman that got more than her too, though.
Well, okay. So, but I think
exactly. Thank you.
I think today women are so self-sufficient, and they are definitely, after this whole movement. What is it? It's our Me Too. Yeah, Me Too. They have their own voice, and they can handle the household, because even if, and don't take this wrong, I don't want anybody send me any texts or anything, even though men, because 9 times out of 10, it was always, back in that era, it was always the man that was leaving. I'm going to get a pack of cigarettes, and he never comes back because he can't handle the pressure. So women have been taught to be able to handle the house and the kids by themselves. So they had no choice but to do it. So today, women are having babies without men and surviving and doing well. So no, I don't think that you have to be married. I believe in the family dynamics, don't get me wrong, but things have changed so much. It's not like a woman can stay home and take care of the house a long time ago, like back in your grandma's age. We have to go to work too. Then you want us to go to work, come home, take care of the kids, make sure they do the homework, cook, you know what I mean? Then do the slap or tickle thing, and then get up and I'll do it all over again. You understand what I'm saying? So we're exhausted. So I think that I agree with you. You don't have to have that dynamics. But again, I'm going to say the family dynamics is important.
So basically, from what I'm gathering from both of what you're saying, is that marriage is just, it has a negative connotation to it. It's like a burden. It's like, we only have to do it. Why should we do it? There's no.
I'm trying to ask my uncle that.
Is that what I'm getting? Because I'm looking, you know me, I'm looking forward to the day when I can get married. Yeah.
Me too. I'm looking forward to being the best person. You know that. We talked about our outfit yesterday.
You gonna be an usher?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not.
What do you say?
What do I say about the whole? Well.
Are you looking forward to getting married?
I guess so. I'm looking forward to getting married, but the thing about it is, like, with all the blogs and with like all the hot topics that I do look at, I think that marriage doesn't mean the same thing it used to be.
Okay.
In the past.
I get that.
Because of the divorce rate, like
over half
of my friends' parents are divorced.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it means the same thing today.
That's a good observation.
That's true, because the society has changed our behavior. And women, like I said, again, I don't want to be redundant, are finding their voice and knowing that they can take care of themselves. And once you get out there, like somebody's just kicking you out of the nest, you're like, oh, I can do this. And the freedom that you feel,
I feel like that goes into it too.
Right. You know, after talking to some of my girlfriends that have been married and that are now single, they are enjoying their life because they can come and go as they please. They don't have to answer to anybody.
Why can't that be in a marriage? That's just an unhealthy marriage. If you can't go when you want to go.
Exactly.
That was interesting to me because I like watching The Real. They made this question like,
excuse me,
would your husband feel offended if you made more than him? And they said that was like one of the main arguments of people getting divorced nowadays.
I can deal with it.
So let me ask you this question: if, like, I know a lot of people that take separate vacations
Couples?
At first, I thought that was just like way taboo. You know what I mean? Or, when I go see my therapist, had made a suggestion that you need to find yourself and go to a hotel. One weekend by yourself. I had talked to some of my friends about it, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it because I have a friend that does that, and she'll go away for the weekend with her girlfriends and stuff." Would you be comfortable if your spouse said, "Oh, I want to just go chill in a hotel for a weekend"?
Well, another one of my goals is to see this therapist, which I've been seeing all year so far. So hopefully I would get to the point where I'm confident and right now, today, no. Where you going? No.
So is that because of you? Is that because of you? Yeah, they should be able to. Because is it because of you and your shenanigans?
No, because of me and just experience.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's because of you and your shenanigans that you're saying.
Wait. Not my shenanigans, not just my experience. It could be my experience with them. It's just, and from what I was taught coming up, when you go on vacations, you and your other half, you go on vacation together. So it would be a new concept for us to go on separate vacations. But as a strong, confident person, I should be able to say, okay, sure, baby, go on your vacation, have a good time.
And you say,
if she's on a vacation, I get a vacation as well.
That's true.
That's true.
Exactly.
All the latest products put them in one room.
Uh-huh.
All the
Girls trip.
you know what I mean? Just hanging, playing Madden.
But this generation is different in marriage because a lot of them go on vacations and go to hotels with their friends and stuff like that, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So I think that it's okay. That's what I think. I think that it's definitely okay.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
So me and my uncle was going back and forth on this. So he seen this couple, right? It's a girl in the 7-Eleven, and the dude was like, it's kind of like feeling on it and stuff in public and everything. And he was like, man, he don't respect you, blah, 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 blah. He was like, he ain't married you yet. And then the girl was like, he don't got to marry me. He don't got to marry me. So this is how the whole conversation started, right? But my question is, I was telling him, I'm like, in this day and age, maybe back in the day, as a man, we like to see a girl that was in a 3-piece suit, and they'll say, "Don't you touch me ever." But I'm like, if you look at the way society's set up now, Kanye married Kim Kardashian, right? Mm-hmm. And I use that example to say,
Careful.
I use that example to say, it's like, when I look for a wife, I'm not looking for this woman that just don't ever want me to touch her and just want to be like, now I get they in public, but sometimes you kind of want that girl that's going to, ride the thrill with you of life versus just being kind of like, You know what I mean? So my question is like, do you agree with, do you feel that was something that's necessary?
So you're talking about public display of affection. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly.
I mean, I love that.
Okay.
I don't think that it has to just always be in the bedroom. But I am going to say something that's probably stereotypical. I'm going to hold that. No. You want me to hold it?
You can finish your statement. Our guest has called in, but you can finish your statement. Go ahead.
That I find that a lot of African American men don't like to do public display of affection. I've
Side piece.
Yes, I find that a lot.
Uh-huh.
Probably in the younger you guys probably, but in my generation, no way.
Mm-hmm.
They did not like it.
Really?
Because if you go to hold a hand, they want to walk over here because then you looking around. I mean, it's just funny how, and I'm not the only one that thinks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only one that thinks like that, but.
Well, you know what? Our first guest of the year have called in. We have attorneys Demetria Graves and Marissa Grayson. They're the managing partners of the Elite Firm. And the Elite Firm is a full-service law and crisis management firm with a unique focus on African American celebrity entertainers, professional athletes, and other high-profile influencers. They just called in. Hopefully they'll call back. But just a little bit more about the brand. It has been recognized as the ever-growing need for clients to have not only a great legal representation, but also an entire support unit around them, which truly has their best interest as their primary goal and not looking at the financial aspect in mind. Now, this is the only African-American law firm which is founded by female attorneys and staff with all professional black women executives skilled in their field. Hashtag Black Girl Magic. So they're going to call back in a few minutes, hopefully, and then we can learn about them, find out, what makes them so unique. I like that name, the Elite Firm.
Yeah, I like that picture of them as well.
Yeah. Power. That was a power picture.
Yeah, that was definitely a power picture.
Demetria Graves. So I'm going to give out the number also, 757-683-4405. If you hear us talking about anything that you want to comment on, make sure that you definitely give us a call. Give us your 5 cents. And make sure you go to our new website, www.letsfaceitradio.com. You can listen to the show through there. You can also submit ideas for topics, and so that you can be a guest co-host as well on the radio show. Who said hello?
Say hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
So hopefully they'll be calling right back.
Yes.
Come on, ladies. We're waiting for you.
Yes,
But I'll start the next topic. So, you were talking about how independent y'all women are, you and Jada.
Uh-oh.
Very
How very, like she said, very independent.
I know what's coming. I know what's coming.
Yeah. We was having this conversation on the way over here.
Yes.
Being that y'all so big and bad and independent, making your own money, don't need nobody. Why is it that when dating, most females seem to have an issue with going Dutch then?
Oh.
Now, I'm not.
Why I got to buy your tea?
Okay, because we had a conversation.
Why? Buy my tea. What's up? What?
Right. And I mean, I don't have a problem with going Dutch. Right. And then, well, one of my friends had told me this story that she was at this cafe and she had met this guy. And she met him one time and she hadn't seen him in a while. And then she saw him again and they had this conversation and she was kind of offended because, he was doing all the talking, asked her out, asked her for a phone number. But she said the red flag was that he didn't offer to buy her coffee.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, girl, he should have offered to buy your coffee. That's a red flag. But then
Red flag.
that was a red flag to her. So then I backed my train up for a second, and I was like, because I thought about your post, your Dutch post, and I was like, no. In actuality, he did not need to offer to buy your coffee because you get your coffee every day. So why is it necessary for him to buy your coffee just to say because he's a man?
Okay. Well, you know my feelings about it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna agree with that. I don't think men have to. I mean, it's nice to offer and go back and forth. You know what I mean? But
because it's hard for you to say you should buy my coffee. Then in the next moment when I say something, I'm an independent woman. I take care of this. You don't do this for me. You don't do that for me. Well, you just wanted me to buy your coffee for $2.
right, and again, that's stereotypical on a woman's part as well. Equal society. So I'm inclined to. Can you believe it?
I can't. I gotta write this down.
Yeah, write
this
it
is
down.
124.
Yeah.
You agreed on going Dutch.
She said it perfectly.
Perfectly.
Agree
She
to?
said it perfectly.
Wow.
What you said? You
I have mixed
no.
feelings.
You automatically just pay for everything.
I do just because it's been drilled into me kind of thing. Like I do think like the first date, if I'm taking you out, I'm gonna pay. We go to the movies, dinner, you know what I mean, I'm gonna pay. But like when we get to the point where we comfortable with each other, I had girls that take me out.
Yeah.
And, take me to the movies.
Yeah.
You don't know. I'm gonna tell you to all the women out there, you don't know how good it feels as a man for a woman to take you out and pay for everything. Because we never get that. Like, you don't get that feeling of being wine and dine.
Right.
And it's not really feminine.
Even
it's
gifts.
The fact of like you actually care. You know what I mean? Enough to do this. That goes like way high on the cool point. Really.
Okay, so let me just throw a monkey wrench in that. And the reason why we were taught not to do that. And the reason, and it has happened to me, that men take advantage of your kindness. Because a lot of women wear their heart on their sleeve. So when women, start treating a man and, let me buy you this, let me take you out, they begin to get used to it. Then you take advantage of it. Then it comes into a pimp game because you could call, oh, baby, meet on my tires. I need tires on my car. Can you da-da-da-da-da? Oh, can you know what I mean? If it turns into that. So then it turns into using. you know, I'm not saying all men, but I have always been taught not to, you know, treat men because that's what they're going to do. But that's what they do because it did happen to me. Mm-hmm. And because I'm so, you know, generous, thinking that, oh, I'm all in love and I'm just helping, you know what I mean? And I'm supporting my dude. No, I'm supporting you, helping you out, and you with somebody else taking my money and helping her out too.
Yep.
I have
So,
friends that are in that predicament.
right. So that's why sometimes it's very difficult for women to make that call. Should I treat him out? Is he going to think that I'm desperate and I'm paying for his services, or I'm just paying for his time? You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm sure he got somebody else doing this and somebody else doing that. Like I had a friend, Joseph, every payday, he would go, he's like, oh, got to go to work. I'm like, where are you going? He would go from job to job to job to job and collect, because he knew when everybody got paid on the same Friday and get his money. And women would give him his money, give him the money. And then he'd get an attitude if they don't give it to him.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
See, I think
So it's
you
like a
just messing with the
catch-22.
wrong guy at that time. It's almost like we experience that as a regular. Like, you know, as dudes, girls are just average, I'm hungry, or I need a babysitter, or I need somebody to help me with this car. You know what I mean? And if as a dude, if you don't do it, they might look at you funny. Like, you ain't a real man. You ain't help me out with my car.
Right, and see, I don't like that either. I don't like it when women ask men, because I wasn't raised that way, to ask men, well, can you buy me a pair of shoes? Can you do this for me? Or I need money, or, you know, you need to go out and buy me this and this. No, you need to go get your own stuff. You know, I've always had to get my own stuff.
You can.
Devil's advocate, we were just talking about this. I heard the saying that a woman shouldn't have to ask a man. He should offer.
True.
Do y'all believe that?
I
Or
mean,
is it
Depends on what you're
extenuating
talking about.
circumstances?
Yeah.
So if a woman is wanting or in need, she should not have to ask the man. He should be in tune to her to know that she's in need.
Yes, and ask her what you gonna do about it.
it's so
Exactly.
crazy. I mean, that's just if I say that I have my bracelet broke and I'm all upset. You know what I mean? I understand what you're saying. Be like, oh, okay, baby, I know you're all upset. It meant so much to you. Let me go out and buy you another bracelet. Of course, that's like super nice. But even if you did not offer to get me a bracelet, I'm going to go out and get my own bracelet. And I'm going to be okay with that.
That should be your first start to get.
Now,
your
if you're
own
a home, if you're a housewife and you're home taking care of the house, making sure I'm taking care of our kids, then when that happens, of course. But if you just got back from Bahamas with your girlfriends and you break your bracelet, ooh, I'm about to say a word. Go get it fixed. What you gonna do about it? Go get it fixed.
So, but you just said something interesting. You was like,
I didn't say the word.
I know
Oh,
you did,
okay.
but you were like, if you were home not working, making
Yeah,
sure.
because I know
but you
that I'm
said
your
making
prime-
Sure, but making sure that I see this is where the oil and vinegar comes in. Making sure that I'm taken care of, making sure the kids are taken care of, making sure
I said the household. I'm a part of
well,
the
the household, right? So who's gonna make sure that she's taken care of? When is she?
That's why I said then I would do it because I'm a part. I'm gonna make sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure of it. Okay.
Okay.
Well, our first guests are on the line. We have attorneys Demetria Graves and Marissa Grayson. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Hello.
How are you? We were just talking. We were just bragging on you. We're proud of you.
Yes.
The elite firm.
Oh, thank you.
The elite firm. So I just want to ask you, what was your inspiration in starting this all-women focused African-American firm where you basically tailor your services for celebrity entertainers, professional athletes, and other high-profile influencers? What was your inspiration behind starting that? Why did you want to do it?
Well, we are, one of the reasons is because far too often we see high-profile individuals engaged in their legal battles and making these avoidable but detrimental decisions outside of the courtroom, like, acting wild on social media, posting things they shouldn't post, sending messages to people they shouldn't send related to their cases. And we just essentially watch things unfold with these celebrities who, are already in the public eye, and it happens during the midst of their legal cases. So we were just, tired of seeing celebrities who are going through these things who have teams,
right,
allegedly, teams, behind them, but they're still doing all these things that you typically don't do when you have a strong team that, is holding you down. So we decided that we wanted to create something for celebrities who look like us in particular, so that they have another option besides the firms that they've been going to, and so that they have someone who, who has their back and will call them out on their stuff and make sure that they are on point when it comes to the decisions that they're making that can essentially affect their legal cases, but also the things that affect their lives in general, and their reputation.
So how's your firm, the Elite Firm? How are you so unique? Your niche. What is it that makes the Elite Firm stand out so much? Because you guys are getting a lot of media behind the Elite Firm. What are these key factors that you have that make you guys stand out so much? Your wow factor.
Go out on the limb and say I think we are the first in the nation to not only have attorneys on staff, therapists on staff, we have a communications specialist on staff, we have client relation officers, if you will, on staff. So we brought everyone in on our staff. So if our client needs it, we will have it. And if we don't have it on staff, we can get it.
Okay.
So we wanted to do something that was more of a one-stop shop for everybody, instead of having to call each individual or professional in as we needed it. So we are the first of our kind. We are all black women. We wanted to show the world that black women can come together and do something great together. And here we are. Okay,
so your whole staff, everything, black females. Is your clientele exclusively African American, or how does that work?
That is our target market. We won't turn away someone that's not African American, clearly, but that is our target market.
Okay.
As Marissa said, we wanted to give them an option to say, hey, we are here too. Consider us as well when you're making these legal decisions.
Okay, got it.
Hi, how are you? My name is Paula B. This is an honor to be speaking to you guys. I think you're amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And excuse me, I have laryngitis. What are some of the services your firm offers?
So aside from just general legal representation, we also offer crisis management services. As Demetria mentioned, we have mental health specialists, anger management classes, domestic violence recovery, parenting classes. We basically provide a comprehensive list of services to our clients. So essentially what happens is once they come to our firm and hire us as their team, we collectively do an objective assessment of their situation. So we look at everything that's going on, whether it be, a business that they want to start, or they're going through a criminal charges or things of that nature, or whether they're going through divorce or custody battles, civil rights issues, whatever their issues are. We look at their case as a whole, and then we figure out what exactly it is that they need in order to turn the situation around, in order to resolve the legal issues, in order to make sure that, moving forward in their lives, they don't continue to face the same issues over and over and over. And then we just, tackle it, and handle everything from our company. So. Right. Wow. Basically, it's a team that gets to know the individual or the company or the brand, and because we get so involved and so close to our clients, we know exactly what they need, and we're always there, with our hands on, helping them with all of the things that come up with them. So it's really comprehensive. It depends on, each particular person.
Yeah, it sounds like they really get the white glove treatment.
Do you handle like divorces and stuff like that as well?
Yes, we handle child custody disputes. Divorces.
That's how we started.
Because I have a question. I have a salon here, and I have a lot of clients who are going through divorces, and they are telling me these things like the law firms they go through. They have these girls' nights out, where the clients, I guess, they get together to build like a networking source for the women, the clients, to connect with each other, and they go on like girls' night out to help them get through the process. Do you guys do stuff like that as well?
Well, we have to be careful because of our clientele. So
okay.
But we technically can't really do that because if they're celebrities, they already want to be exclusive as it is. So we don't necessarily do that. But that's a great idea we still have our individual firms as well that does service the general public. So that's definitely a great idea, but we don't do that with the elite firm.
Okay.
Hello, Miss Demetria and Miss Marissa. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. Listen, my name is Michael Jamil. I'm a local jazz saxophonist and slash producer. And I did want to ask, do you guys like jazz music?
Who doesn't like jazz music?
Right. Of course.
Okay. I always thought about it because, like, I know lawyers, you got to go through all these books and stuff, and I know you can't listen to hip hop and trap to that, so.
Funny.
Okay.
She said, who cares?
He said, who can?
I guess I feel that. So my question is, you guys sound like you work really well as a team. So the question is what skill sets or what practices aid you guys in being so, harmonious together to work so well as a team?
Well, I think for starters, this is Demetria. I really like Marissa as a person.
Thank you.
That helps. That helps. Yeah.
Before we got into business, I was able to observe her work, to see her work ethic, to see, how she handles her business, and that's really important. For one, you have to like each other. For two, you have to have the same work ethic. If not, it's going to crumble. Because if one is working harder than the other, you're going to have a problem. And I think we have similar styles, similar personalities, and I think it just works. I think this was the right time for us. I don't think it would happen earlier. I think we both had to go through some stuff, do our own thing for a minute, and then we were able to come together. So for me, part of it is definitely God, and the other part is I like her.
Okay.
And to add to that, besides the fact that, me and Demetria, we get along very well, we work very well together, and also, we just understand the reality of doing business. And in regards to the remainder of our team, like everyone on our team is really amazing in their own right. So I think that definitely helps because everyone is confident in what they do, and everyone, is professional and they are experts in their field, and everyone, is headstrong, but they are also business mindset. They have a business mindset. So when we come together, it's more like a collaboration. We don't consider each other competition. We all have a goal, and it's our job to work together to achieve that goal, whatever it may be for a particular client.
Now, who's this speaking? Who was this?
Marissa and I
That was Marissa.
work in the same area. Like, we're both family law attorneys. We started as, I guess, rivals, and we were still really good friends. I still referred business to Marissa, and I knew if we could work together and we were in the same field, we would be okay in this collaboration.
Okay. So this is Will again. Okay, so I hear what you're saying. I hear your goal. I remember earlier in the conversation you were saying you wanted to show people that women can work together. Marissa, you just said a few things also that I was listening to, trying to take in. But you're telling me that you have this whole team of black women, very strong-minded women who are focused on, basically winning, #winning. What are the challenges? Let's be real. What are the challenges with all of y'all working together? Everybody want to shine. Everybody want to do well. What are the challenges that you've encountered?
I think what you just said, everyone is strong-minded, but everyone is already shining. So no one is really overpowering everyone because everyone is already doing a great job individually. So when we come together, I just feel like our shine is a little brighter because we're all shining stars in our own right. And then, in all honesty, Marissa and I have disagreements, but we're able to have our disagreements, and we might agree to disagree, or we might come to an agreement and we move on. I think the goal and what we're trying to do is bigger than us individually, and we all have to have that mindset. And Marissa and I pick each individual together, so we make sure that they were a fit for the team.
So you two did all the hiring.
Excuse me?
You two did all the hiring for the firm. Okay, great. Okay.
Yes, Marissa and I did all the hiring ourselves.
Okay.
And we picked people that we thought would be team players. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
And then we both, all of us, we have to be reminded because we all are black women. We all, are strong-minded, and we have to remind ourselves sometimes, since you asked about the struggle, sometimes we have to remind ourselves that when it comes to doing business, nothing is about ego. So we may have a decision that needs to be made, and sometimes we may have to ask ourselves, okay, well, is this an ego-based decision or is this a business decision? Because if it has anything to do with ego, then it has to be thrown out the door, and we have to go back to, okay, what is best for the company, what's best for the client, what's best for us as a team. And as long as we keep that at the forefront, then usually the disagreements and things like that, as long as we have the ego out the door, we have to base it on what's best and what's in our best interest. And it's easier to do it that way when you set the ego aside, which, naturally everyone has an ego on their own, even if it's a little one,
Yeah, and that was my question, because even in most team environments, whether, even like with hair salons, the salon can shine as a team, or then you're going to have personalities within the salon who sometimes feel like, they're who make the salon. So I just wonder, how do you keep those types of checks and balances and make sure that that's controlled? So, okay, that was a good answer. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Hi, this is Paula again. My question to you is, how do you feel about the Me Too movement?
Demetria, you want to take that?
Marissa said, I bow.
It's important that we start having the conversation that if this is really going on in Hollywood, we do need to talk about it. There does need to be parameters in place, and whoever is doing this needs to stop. And I think everybody is on the chopping block right now. And if you have even touched somebody behind closed doors, I'm sure they are shaking in their boots.
Ooh.
I think that the flip side of that is now everyone is saying anything. If someone looks at you a certain way, people want to call Good Morning America or whatever. So there has to be limitations, too. That's the legal aspect of this. Just because someone makes an allegation doesn't make it so. And so now I think because it's coming to the forefront, everyone is quick to make a judgment about what's happening without listening to the facts. So that's the downside of it. But I really, really do think we need to start having these conversations. We need to start talking about the parameters again, and whoever's doing it needs to stop.
Well, I mean, because this has been going on in Hollywood for centuries. I mean, it didn't just start yesterday, but I think that because women are a lot stronger today and they're finding their voice, and this is why they are stepping up and speaking out. And some of it has gone on for years, and they're like, well, why did you wait so long? But I think one of the reasons why they waited so long is because of the bread and butter and getting blackballed. And will I ever be able to work again? So you sacrifice yourself for your career because you really don't have any choice in the matter. So I think that...
But I think the platform is there now for women to do that. They're calling this the year of the woman now. So I think we're going to see a lot of things happening for women that just have never happened before. And we're really excited about that.
Okay. All right.
Hey, it's Mike G again. So my question is, I love you guys. I'm in love with the movement, and just black women working together just sounds amazing. How can we contact you guys? Do you have a website, phone, Facebook, social media?
Anywhere. We're everywhere. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Our name is Elite Firm LA. Our website is elitefirmla.com. You can find all of our social media handles on our website. Or you could just Google us. We're there.
Oh,
yeah, but we're very active on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook as well. So we connect with a lot of people on social media. We're getting to know a lot of people. We're getting a lot of support. So we definitely appreciate all the love for sure.
That's awesome. So before I let you go, is there anything that you like to say to, or any advice you'd like to give to any women who may want to follow in your footsteps? Anything you'd like to say in closing remarks?
I always like to say, please stay off of social media with your personal business. It's just not that
Thank you. I'm trying.
Especially if you're going through anything legal, please stay off of social media because you really make our job harder. So let's stop doing that.
Okay. Stay off with your,
And as far as motivating other women who may want to follow in our footsteps, we always say that just, believe that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. I always say, figure out what it is that you want to do and just figure out a way that you can do it and actually, make that your career, because it's one thing to have a job that you hate going to, and it's another one to have a career that you love and you love waking up to, and it doesn't feel like doing work. So, you know, if you don't love it, then find a way so that you can do something that you love. You may have to take steps to get there, of course, but, you know, if you commit and believe that you can do it, then you absolutely can. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't.
All right.
All right, I like
well,
that.
ladies, thank you so much. We're expecting great things from the elite firm, LA. Yes.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. Bye-bye.
That was awesome.
So when I move to LA, they'll be mine. Oh no, they represent men though, right? Do they represent men? I didn't ask them that.
They have to.
So I'm black. I'm okay. They'll represent me. Okay. I don't have money.
Meet the criteria.
I meet it. All right. Okay, so I have some I want to talk about. Get your advice on. Somebody told me that this was going on. It's not actually new. It was 2012. Mm-hmm. But listen to this long spiel. Okay, she says, "I'm married to a wonderful man. We've been together 5 years, married for 2. My husband wants kids and have been trying to get me pregnant as of lately, and he has even started working on a kids' room. He has all these thoughts of him being a loving daddy. So lately he's been making appointments to see a fertility specialist, but I've been canceling the appointment, and he's been getting very upset about it. The problem isn't that I'm sterile and can't have kids. The problem is that I'm a transsexual, and I never told him. I love him so much, and I know he loves me too. This makes me nervous, and my heart aches. We're so happy together. What should I do? Do I tell him the truth, or do I quietly exit out of the marriage?"
They were already married, right? And
Yeah.
She didn't tell him.
Right.
So she did.
Quietly exit.
You said quietly exit.
Yeah. I would quietly.
Oh my
That's the
God.
first thing, like, I watch a whole bunch of transgender like documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing you're supposed to say right when you meet them off the bat. "Hi, I'm transsexual," wherever you
Mm-hmm.
are, right off the bat. And she married
But
him.
you know,
So,
yeah.
so,
That's not right.
so
That's not right.
how
That's
they?
not ethical at all.
But I thought that. I don't know. Maybe this is going to be like a very ignorant question, but I'm going
What?
to ask it anyway. So I thought that when they have sex, wouldn't he?
There's a transsexual and there's a transvestite. Transvestite men dress like women.
Right.
Transsexual, you have the complete change.
Right.
So they do
she
the whole.
probably
So
has
physically,
the
you can't
whole-
tell.
You can't tell.
You can't tell.
You can't tell. And she probably has a vagina now.
Well, she has
and whatnot
everything.
and everything. So
Probably very passable. And what,
I can tell.
like you guys, the reaction, I would have got the same thing. But I was friends with somebody. She was actually killed. But I was friends with somebody who was a transsexual, and you could tell she was short, petite. She actually went to Norfolk State, was a cheerleader at Norfolk State back in the early 90s. And she was in a relationship with somebody who actually killed her. But she was just like the fear of, number one, somebody else telling him. But she knew because of comments that he would make that he would never be comfortable with what she was. They were like, just like emotionally, there was like, because even I think, what's the girl from the Orange is the New Black? Laverne Cox. She was just like, it's so hard for her to find somebody because she's publicly a transsexual, and then no guys want to be physically attached because of the stigma that would be coming from it. So I can understand. I don't think it was the best decision for her to make, but I can definitely understand the reasons why she did it. Now it's like, what do you do about it?
So I mean, because I think, and I don't know if this is the right thing to say, and of course I'm non-judgmental at all. But when you do something like that and step outside your circle, that's the only way I can put it. That's the risk that you're going to take. But if you stay within your, I don't know, your element, I guess, they probably would be a lot. Find somebody. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's understanding of that and can deal with it. But when you decide to step out of your circle and go try to find a heterosexual man, and not think that he's going to have issue with that, you put you both in jeopardy, because in your mind you're thinking that you really are this woman. So I think that when they go through all of that, I think when they do the psych eval, that they really should discuss that with them.
Oh, yeah.
To make sure that they're really comfortable in that, because in your mind, I'm just a woman just like Paula B, and I want to go after Michael, and I want to have this happily ever after, and knowing really that you can't, because that's just like the thing with Genuine. You know what I mean? When they wanted him to kiss she's transsexual as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody was up in arms about that because they thought that he should have. No, he shouldn't have. You can't tell people who they could be with, and that person is making a decision for that man, saying that you're going to be with me. For me.
You
I
know
can get
what?
that.
I feel like it should be illegal to not say something from the beginning. Because you were born as a man, you know what I mean? And it's like for you to have just because you had a surgery doesn't mean that you're a woman now. But when you're portraying yourself as a woman,
I understand. I understand where you're coming
sheep's
from.
clothing, you know what I
understand.
mean? And it's weird because for you to tell them afterwards is even more criminal. You know what I mean? Because you didn't give them a chance to make a decision.
Okay, Nikki.
Is it not the same thing when a woman doesn't divulge that she can't have children? She's had a history.
I mean, I think it's the same type of
That's it.
dishonesty. I don't know the
honestly,
measure, the
if you
degree.
can't- if you can't
Yeah,
tell the
from an
difference,
ethical,
that's the
any
only
type of.
problem, honestly. If you can't tell the difference that she's transgender,
Bingo.
that's just like she's just having problems with
Unless
having children,
surgery's that
and a lot of
big.
women have problems with having children.
Unless the
Well, let me
surgery
ask you
was
something.
amazing.
Let me
If you
ask you
can't
something.
tell the difference that she's transsexual, maybe she did a really good job, and maybe
But sometimes you can't tell though.
Let
Baby.
me ask you something.
we don't know what she got.
Listen, so
Okay, yeah.
if they're transgender, right? So my question is, I'm kind of confused at what person they would be with. So does a gay man like a transgender man? Because it's not necessarily a man anymore.
It goes
it's like,
so deep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand where you're coming
And
from.
it's
It
like,
goes so deep.
Why didn't they just found a gay man? But then it's like, if you're gonna go for a transgender man, why don't you just get a woman?
See, that's what I was saying. Because Will and I had went to
It could
a
be
show.
Pageant.
We went to a pageant, and it was this girl. She was really nice, and she was with a girl that acted like a dude. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, well, are they together? Well, yeah, they definitely were together because she had an attitude, but because she thought she was trying to talk to somebody else. So I was like, but shouldn't she really? Should she be with a dude? You understand what I mean? So it was just very, very confusing. Because I had met this who I thought was a gentleman, very handsome. That oh my God, so I was like, when the guy came in the room,
It's really interesting.
yeah,
though.
when the guy came in the room, I was like, oh my God, that guy is so handsome and sharp too, sharp as a tack. I was like, whoa, who is that? Boy, he is handsome and sharp. He was like, that is not who you think it is. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, I gotta get up close. So I did get everything, just the mannerism.
But he has facial hair, body hair, all that stuff.
all of that, and very handsome. And I was very intrigued by it because if I was single, I would have got tripped up.
Yeah, I almost got tripped up, but okay. Well, yeah, but so you think that quietly? Well, I mean, if he's in love, you can't quietly exit.
Yes,
You can't quietly
yes, you
exit. What do you say?
Nothing.
Divorce.
Now, a
Sure,
heartbreak
divorce.
is a lot better than the alternative. It's like the lesser of two evils.
So you just write a note and leave.
Don't write a
But
note.
look,
What do you say? You
would
can't.
he have a problem with it though? I don't think he would have a problem with it.
He's gonna. I think he's gonna have a problem. He could probably
with
get.
it, but it's like if you don't know that she's transgender, you just got married to her, you know her inside and out. How can you have a problem with it? But he probably.
Oh, he will have. I don't know.
He's gonna
I'm saying
have a
this from,
problem with
like,
it.
a male perspective.
But like, it's gonna make him
Just leave.
seem like
Just leave.
it's gonna make him seem
I would
like
rather cry because I feel like I lost my wife.
That sounds like a little bit of ego and pride to me, because love is love.
Oh yeah.
So, but it is deceitful to not tell
Yeah, it's
your
100%
mate.
wrong.
However, you're saying make it illegal. You're saying leave, desert the marriage.
No, it is ego and pride. Because
At
who wants
least
to
he
be like-
admitting it.
Who wants to be? You say I got fooled pretty much now. Because
So
what you're saying is you fooled me. I lied to you from the
let me
beginning.
share your mic.
Go ahead, baby.
You done did all this with me now, and like, guess what? I got something to tell you.
It's
Guess
the
what?
same thing as if a regular woman didn't tell you everything about her past. It's the same.
But everybody doesn't have to tell you everything about their past.
Exactly. So
Yes.
No, that is
White
none of your
does.
business.
no
No, she don't.
man would
No,
tell a
white-
woman everything
Thing
he
about
has
done.
all of his history.
No way.
Mike,
But that's like.
How old are you, Mike?
That's none of your business.
Hold on, that's like the basis of. That's like creation.
No, that was before you. That don't have anything to do with you.
Everyone has a history.
So,
Whoa,
right.
Everybody.
come on
Everyone
So
now.
I'm gonna have to have you take several seats.
But you're
I
saying
need
that's
you
to
say-
the point.
That's like if I turned myself into a white man. Like if they had a thing,
wanna
a
buy
surgery,
him that stuff.
where you could go
But
to
look,
the doctor and like I'm black.
This
and you turn
circumstance
into
is
a
just
white
hilarious. Like, so he thinks that,
That doesn't
she's
have anything-
a woman. He thinks that
Exactly.
she's a woman. And that's just amazing to me because, like, it doesn't usually go that far.
Well,
and people are
technically,
able to tell. But
she
She is a woman.
Exactly.
Technically,
She is.
exactly.
So,
Not
that's
every
that's
woman
my
can have a
proposition,
child.
though.
Period.
Right, I-
No, that's true.
Right, and
Not
so
I
every
don't
woman
think
can
right.
have a child.
I don't think he would have the room to really be that mad though,
But
because
and I was barren. I can't have children. I had cancer when I was 25 years old, so I can't have any children at all.
No, I'm
But
talking
she-
about I'm not talking
but
about
I-
the kid part.
I know.
No,
in
but
this
I'm just
circumstance,
saying-
that's what it comes down to.
That's
She's
the only-
a-
That's
she's
the
a
part
woman
you're
who
stuck
can't
on.
have
She's
kids.
stuck
to tell
on
the
the
truth
deceit.
Exactly.
You're stuck on the deceit, not the fact
Exactly.
that she can't have
She
children.
should've been settled this a
it's
long
wrong.
time ago,
It's wrong
before
that
they
she didn't
got
say
married.
anything, but then again,
So-
she's a woman who just can't have kids. That's what
Right.
it is
That's
now.
that's what it boils
and
down
that's
to.
what it boils down to.
Right.
So
I
if
understand
if
what
I
you're
bleach
coming
my
from,
skin,
though.
I turn
That's a
into-
male
if I turn
ego.
Caucasian, right? And I meet another Caucasian woman that
wonder
say
what
I would
your
never,
audience has to
I would
say.
never
Yes.
date a black man. If I say I would never, she say I never date a black man. Do I have an obligation to tell her, you know something? I used to be a black man, but I took a surgery. Now I'm a white man now. I feel like I would have to.
But you
It's
see,
it's a moral duty.
I understand.
I mean,
that,
I understand
but like he couldn't tell. It's not like he could
But
tell
she
that.
knew.
Oh, something's wrong. She did know. It's wrong
mean-
on her part. It is wrong on her part.
Yeah, we're
But
not
it's
saying
not
that.
like it was obvious that she wasn't.
I'm sure that he had some little indications that
That
that-
something's wrong here.
You have no. When you go to Atlanta, you'll be surprised.
Yes. Yes.
When you go to Atlanta,
Well,
when
when
you
I-
go to LA, you'll
when
be
I
surprised.
when I
LA,
went
God.
when I went to that show.
But Atlanta is
that
home of.
Yeah,
I mean,
Chocolate City.
you'll be shocked.
I know.
You'll be shocked.
When I went to that show, I was like, my mouth
is a
would just
scary
drop
conversation.
all
What?
open. Yeah.
I'm gonna forward you some images, and you'll be shocked.
Yes.
You'll
I'm
be
going
totally shocked.
Going to church.
I mean, some right here in Norfolk, you'll be shocked.
I get
Yep.
where he's coming from.
And I'm gonna stop that conversation. But
Yeah. Let's
you know
stop
what?
it.
Let me go ahead and introduce our next guest before he calls in. Our next guest is Mr. Robert Crown. He wrote a book, actually, Suffering Ends When Awakening Begins. How does a child's life change when his mother tries to murder him? It's one of the most profound betrayals imaginable. This is an inspiring true story of Robert Crown's amazing journey out of the darkness of his childhood and into a world brightly illuminated by the power of positive understanding and purposeful thought. His message to the world is that if he can do it, you can overcome any challenge in life by focusing your thoughts on what you desire. So he should be calling in a few minutes. Did you have a topic you want to talk about real quick?
I don't know if I should mention this now because
I have one.
Okay, what do you want to talk about, babe?
This is kind of old, but what is you guys' position on the H&M? Because I've been to H&M twice since the thing.
I sure did.
I
bought
feel
my
like-
Freddy
I know
Krueger sweater.
I was mad
so
that
wrong, but like it was in the mall.
prices got
The
you.
prices is good.
yeah, but H&M's
I know.
but
Don't break my
H&M's
I know.
quality of clothes is not that great anyway.
It's really not that great. It's like something.
It's
to get
trendy.
good.
I mean, you don't buy it because you want it to last 12
yeah,
years.
yeah, it
$5
You
is.
buy it
shirt.
because it's cute and it's
$5
$12.99.
Yeah, that's
Right,
true.
$5 shirt.
But you
Yeah.
know that they tore
I know
that store
why.
up in the UK.
Y'all did. Why
Yeah,
were y'all
I've
doing
seen
that?
the
know
video.
y'all-
I've seen the video. They was,
And did you see y'all was
they was taking
walking
it
in
back
like
to the
monkeys?
store.
Okay, so
Oh Lord.
Did you see that? How they came in on their feet like monkeys?
so let me just say this. I was a little upset with the mother because let me.
Okay. I guess it's here.
Okay, I'll talk about it.
What? Yes, we'll talk about it. So our next guest we've already introduced, and we're going to welcome to the show Mr. Robert Crown. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very well.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. We were just talking about your platform, and so as a young child, attempted murder by your mom, that is definitely, like you said, unimaginable. But why the title, Suffering Ends When Awakening Begins? Let's elaborate on that a little bit.
Oh, sure. Well, that really depicts the story of my life because I was an expert at the law of attraction, but actually having it work in reverse. So all the negative stuff, most of the negative stuff I was thinking about, I attracted into my life. You know, like, why would this happen? Or you have this thought of lack. So it really describes my life perfectly until I realized in 2007 when my family became homeless, it made me stop to reflect about the way I was thinking. And then I realized the way that I was thinking was corrupt. I was thinking in a negative way. Our thoughts actually create our reality. So I finally began to understand this. And once I did, my suffering ended and the awakening part began.
Okay. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Okay, yeah, we can now. Okay.
Okay, good. About that.
Hello, this is Jada talking, and I wanted to know why the title "Suffering Ends When Awakening Begins." Why would you pick that title?
Why did I pick the title? Well, like I said, it depicts my life perfectly. When I was 5 years old, I almost died in surgery. When I was 11 years old, my mother made a premeditated murder plot to murder me.
Wow.
And my two sisters. When I was 15, I was a runaway. I was sexually abused. I got involved in drugs. I rebelled against authority, got into a lot of fights. When I was 19, my best friend girlfriend died in a car accident. I suffered from all sorts of financial problems. When I was in 2007, I was homeless. And that was the turning point because I realized I was attracting all this stuff into my life, most all of it, by the way that I was thinking. So by being homeless, it was actually a blessing in disguise because it made me just stop and think on the way that I was thinking and how I was using my thoughts. And I wasn't using them the right way. So once I started to use them the right way, this is the awakening part, that's what I awakened to, then the suffering and all the negative stuff that I used to go through stopped.
Okay.
So once we start realizing the way that we think, what we think about, we create, right? What you think about, you bring about. So where you put your energy at, that's what you're going to get back. So if you're thinking negative and you energize those negative thoughts with an emotion and you charge it with an emotion, that's the beginning of the creation process. So you're going to create that for yourself. Same thing on the positive side. You start thinking about what you want. I mean, there's a whole formula to manifest what you want.
Right.
But if you start thinking about what you want and think from the end and energize that thought with an emotion like you already have it, then you're going to create that for yourself as well.
Okay.
Okay. Hi. How are you? My name is Paula. Welcome to the show. After all these,
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. After all these years, how is your relationship with your mother now?
Well, one might think that I don't talk to my mother at all, but I do. Actually, even when I was younger, in my teens, I went back living with my mom, but we have a great relationship now. In fact, she was over for the holidays, over Thanksgiving. We went to her house for Christmas. We get along fine. She's a different person than she was, obviously, all those years ago, and so am I. We totally look at things in a different way. But my relationship with my mom is great right now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is that hard to believe?
Yeah,
I mean,
a little.
after
Yeah,
that.
a little.
Yeah. I don't. It has to do a lot with forgiveness and putting things in a different perspective. Because we always want to hang on to stuff, right? We don't want to forgive people for what they did to us. But the forgiveness isn't for the other person. It's really for us so that we can move on. And also, if we take another look at things from a different perspective and learn that we go through all these experiences, even something like this, as unimaginable as it is, to evolve and grow, it's just going to make us a better person down the road.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Robert Crown. This is Michael Jamil. I'm a jazz saxophonist.
Hi,
and
Michael.
producer. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Jazz saxophone is nice.
Yes, sir.
Love it. Love it.
And I do want to say, starting off, I applaud your forgiveness. A lot stronger than me. I'm not sure if I could be that forgiving. But my question for you is, what was your motivation for writing the book? What were you trying to accomplish in putting this literature out?
Well, my motivation for writing the book from day one was for the reader. I felt if they could learn about what I went through, if I could share my experiences with them, that they would realize that no matter what they go through in their life, no matter what it is, they can overcome it. As I mentioned earlier, all the stuff I went through, in more, car accidents, motorcycle accidents, etc. It doesn't matter what they go through in their life. All they have to do is believe in themselves that they can overcome anything, and they can do it. They just have to know within inside their heart that they have this power within themselves,
right,
that they can overcome anything in their life. So if they think they're at the end of their rope, they're going to get more rope. It's a law like of the universe. You're never going to get more than you can handle. Mm-hmm. So I really wrote every word in my book for the reader.
Yes, sir. And let me ask you, I know you mentioned the law of attraction a lot. Do you explain that in the book as well? I know that's I've kind of come in contact with that before.
Yes, I go over it a little bit in the book and how I used my thoughts, constructive thoughts, to change my reality. Basically, there's different ways that you can influence your future. There's many different ways. The simplest way that I've done, and one of the ways that I've done to create and manifest a few things in my life, I call it, it's like a 5-step process. The first process is you need to make a decision. So like if he's going to start working out this year and he wants to get into shape, he needs to make a decision like, man, I'm going to get into shape.
Yes.
I'm going to that gym no matter what,
You're right.
So you have to make the decision with such firm intention that no matter what, no one, no thing, nobody's going to stand in your way. You're not taking any other decision except that one that you made. Mm-hmm. So that's the first step that gets the ball rolling. The second step is you need to create an image in your mind of what you want. So like if Will wants to get into shape, maybe Will can, go through some magazines, find a man with a nice physique, cut off his head, paste his head on, put it on his bathroom mirror and say, hey, that's me.
I like that.
So you got to create the image in your mind of what you want.
I like that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, what you need to do is you need to have that emotion. Like, how would you feel if you got into shape? What would you feel like?
Wow.
This is good information.
So you have to have that part of it there.
So you actually have to become what you want to become.
Sorry, I think I'm on a little delay here. Sorry, go ahead.
So you actually really have to picture yourself. You have to become what you want, literally, in your mind.
You have to think from the end.
Yeah.
You have to think for the end. You can't think like you're going to be in good shape because you're never going to get what you want. You have to believe you're going to be in good shape. And you got to think, act, feel like it's already happened.
Exactly.
You got to start getting that swagger like you're already in good shape right now.
Yes, I'm working on that. Yes. Yes.
So that image in your mind that you have, and then that energized emotion about that image, about that swagger and how good you feel, those two need to become one. So those two need to merge together and become one. And then the fourth thing is, we already kind of mentioned, is you have to think from the end. You got to think, act, feel. You got to believe like it's already happened. And then the last thing is you got to stop the negative chatter. So when the alarm goes off in the morning, it's time to get off for the gym. No, I'm just going to sleep. Nah, I don't need to work out. You got to shut that down.
So that's the step.
So you got to shut those down.
Yeah.
So you just go to a happy place to stop the negative chatter. You think about a moment in time or a place that makes you happy. You think about that. You raise your frequency and your vibration a little higher, and then you go back to your affirmation. I feel so good that I've been working out.
Okay. I get that. Thank you for that.
So that's basically the process to creating what you want.
So Robert,
my process.
So Robert, at 19, you were going to get married. What happened with that?
Well, I was going out with a girl for 10 months. We fell in love with each other. We had a great relationship. At the time, she was a little underage, and where I live in Illinois, she wanted to go up to Wisconsin drinking. So we got a phone call from my best friend, Bob, and he said, you guys want to go up to Wisconsin drink? And I said, sure. So as soon as I went upstairs and told Carol, all of a sudden the whole mood in the room changed. It's like the look on her face, she knew what was going to happen. And I had a sense too, something was very wrong, but I didn't have the guts to say anything. So we went up to Wisconsin. We went up there drinking, went to a couple bars, and then we decided we were going to leave early because the bars were going to let out, and we wanted to get home before all the drunks are on the road. So we start going home, and then when we get close to about 15 miles away from my house, this one car started on the side of us, started revving his engine like he wanted to race.
Okay.
This was back in like 1981. And, we'd speed up a little bit to try to lose him, and then we'd slow down. I mean, we were in a Dodge station wagon. For my God, we're gonna race in a station wagon.
Yeah, station wagon.
But,
okay.
But anyway, he sped up. We sped up. We tried to lose him. We tried to go slower. He went slower. Make a long story short, he ran us off the road into oncoming traffic on the other side.
Wow.
And my best friend Bob and Carol, they were both killed instantly in the car wreck. I suffered a broken femur and internal injuries and was in the hospital for a couple weeks. So it took me a while to be able to overcome that.
Wow.
Sorry that happened to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It made you stronger.
Yeah, make you stronger.
That's right. Yeah. What kills you is going to make you stronger. Yeah.
Okay.
But I look back on all those experiences, and it's, if all this stuff didn't happen to you in your life, you're not going to be the person that you are. And even though it was difficult at the time to go through that, we don't have to look at ourselves as a victim, when something happens. With the understanding I have now with things, if I went through stuff, the same stuff I did back then, my life would be totally different.
Hi, it's Jada, the producer. How did you gather all that perseverance to overcome the obstacles and not throw in the towel with all the trauma that you experienced in your life?
Well, that's a good question. The perseverance part, I think in a sense you're doing it when you don't even realize you're doing it. I think most of it had to do with detaching from it. Like you were in it, but you weren't of it. So I try not to make it a part of myself. Back then, consciously, I don't know if I was trying to do that, but that's what actually happened, is that I didn't make it a part of myself. I think what happened is I put a part of that, like you compartmentalize it in your brain, right? Put it away in the back of your brain. Sure, the stuff, it shatters your self-worth or, what you think about yourself, but you're still able to function, and it still kept going. I think like Michael Beckwith, he was in the movie The Secret, and he wrote a couple books, and Michael endorsed my book. And what he said was, he talked about a spiritual warrior, and I always equated it to like this part, right? When you come into this lifetime, some people believe that you got certain things that you're going to have to accomplish. And that's one of those things that I always thought about. So when Carol died in that accident, I always felt like I didn't want her to let her die in vain because I felt she sacrificed her life for me.
Right.
Because I was sitting on that side of the car where she was on the way up there. And she was there waiting at the bar with her head down on the handle, like knowing what she was doing. So that kind of kept me going. I didn't want her to die in vain, so I kept pushing on until I figured out what it was. And it took me a long time because I didn't listen to myself. But I finally figured out what it was, and it was writing this book and letting people know that no matter what you go through in your life, you just have to believe in yourself and know that you matter. And, find this power within that you have inside and listen to your higher self to guide you.
Right.
And if you do that, you're going to be able to persevere and make it through anything.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, you say in the book that by using your thoughts, anyone can create a new reality. I like that. A life they choose. How can they do that? I'm interested in finding out how that works.
Well, it has a lot to do with where your thoughts are going. What I like to do is you hear about affirmations, right? People creating affirmations. A lot of affirmations don't work for 90% of the people is because an affirmation is basically a statement about something. I want to do this, or I want to do that. What I like to use is something I call an affirmation. So an affirmation is a positive statement with an energized emotion attached to it, like what we were talking about earlier. So you create the image in your mind of what you want, And you take that energized emotion and you put those two together. For example, after we were homeless, we had an opportunity to get this house we're living in 5 years ago. So I created this affirmation for myself. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a permanent home for my family. Mm-hmm. And I felt what I would feel like if I had a permanent home for my family. Because when you don't have a home, it's pretty easy, you know. So I created that, and then I would say that and keep focused on that. So with that energized emotion. So if you use the energized emotion as an affirmation, it's going to help you keep your thoughts focused. Because if you let your thoughts meander throughout the day, we think between 15 and 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those thoughts are from the day before. So if you're trying to change something in your life, you have to change the way that you're thinking. So you have to be mindful of what you're thinking on, where your thoughts are going. Mm-hmm. And that's basically the way that you do it. And those 5 things that I mentioned earlier. So using the positive affirmation and the 5 things about creating your own reality, those 2 things combined will help you harness your thoughts and direct your energy on where you want to go.
Awesome.
Wow. I love it. Affirmations.
Affirmations.
Affirmation. Yeah.
This is Mike G again, the saxophonist. My question for you is, if somebody's at the end of their rope right now, pretty much they're ready to throw in the towel, what would you tell them,
mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, as far as changing their perspective and, you know, and how to get better pretty much?
Well, the first thing I would say to them is you're always going to get more rope, no matter what happens to you, all right? So as bad as things are, you're always going to get more rope. And that's why I really wanted to tell my story is that, I mean, from all the things that I mentioned, you know, my mother trying to murder me, you know, being sexually abused, being a runaway, being homeless. I mean, it gets bad, but, you know, no matter what it is, you can make it through. I made it through everything. They surely can make it through everything. It doesn't matter what it is. So you just have to, first of all, you got to really believe in yourself. And don't get down on yourself. These experiences, you may not realize it now, but you're going to realize later that they're happening for a reason. And I know it doesn't seem like it at this moment in time right now, but you got to start changing the way that you think. Society wants us to think a certain way. They don't teach us how to think properly in school. So this might be new for some people. So you got to start keeping track of your thoughts and where you're directing your energy and what you're thinking about. So you have to start thinking positive. You have to know that you matter, okay? You have to believe in yourself. You have this power within inside you. You just have to take this veil of ignorance off and learn how to tap into it. Wow. But people need to know that they matter and that you got to believe in yourself, you know?
Awesome.
That was awesome.
So, Robert, I have two final questions for you. The first one is, in your book, you also mentioned the call. I'm always interested when people mention the word the call. So what did you mean by that? And then the final question is, how can people follow you and, of course, get a copy of your book? But first, what did you mean by the call?
Okay. Yeah, the call has a lot to do with listening to your higher self, or that gut feeling people get. Like when I was when I was able to escape from the basement, I mean, I heard a voice, right? It came in loud and clear. Mm-hmm. So we have to be able to listen to it. I also attribute a lot of the suffering that I went through because I wasn't listening to that little voice inside me, or the call that we get when we're supposed to do something. Mm-hmm. As I mentioned earlier about Michael Beckwith, when he says this power within us wants to emerge, it's like this power wants to, like our higher self is trying to guide us, you know, for our best experience so that we can make it through this stuff. So if we're not listening, you know, it's like your mother when you're a kid, you know, don't play out in the street, you know, she's telling you that for a reason because you're going to get hit by a car if you do, you know, so it's the same thing. So you have to listen to your higher self. You have to go within yourself and listen to yourself, because if you don't listen to yourself, you're going to get a lot of unnecessary suffering like I did. So it's really important to pay attention to the signs. Like one little example, I have time to give you an example here?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. One little example, right? Real small, but very poignant. I was going to the heart sort of pick up a screw for a project I was working on. We kind of live out in the country, so it was about a 25-minute drive. And so I had to pick up the screw. So I'm walking to my car, I'm carrying the screw, and I drop the screw. I'm going, oh, okay. So I pick it up again, walk into my car, get right to my car, and I drop it again. So I pick it up, and I start looking at the screw, and I'm going, oh, my gosh, this is the wrong screw. So it's just like little signs like that. We have to become more aware of what's around us, what's happening within us.
Yeah.
So when we start becoming and paying more attention, then we're going to realize many things in our life is going to change for the better.
Yes. I've been doing that a lot lately, too, trying to figure out why things are happening.
Good.
Looking at situations. Yeah. Why am I late? I'm not usually late. What's going to happen? Yeah. Okay. Well, and how can people follow you and get a copy of your book?
Yeah, my website is crownrobert.com. My book, Suffering Ends When Awakening Begins, is on Amazon.
Okay.
So they can pick up Amazon there. I'm on Facebook, and I'm also on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay. Under what name?
Twitter is Real Robert Crown. Instagram is Robert Crown. And Facebook is Robert Crown, AUTH.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Your story inspired me, and thank you for the tips on attraction and definitely the call. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. Thank you very much.
See you, Robert. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was quite interesting.
Yeah. So how old are you?
18.
You're 18. So
I'll be 19.
do you remember the DC snipers? You were only 2 years old.
I was only 2 years old.
Yeah.
I heard of it.
I am old. It seems like that wasn't that long ago, but it was 16 years ago.
You were only 2 years old?
It was 16 years ago.
Holy cow.
So the younger guy, Lee Boyd Malvo, he's seeking a lower sentence.
Right.
He was 17 during the DC snipers shootings, and I remember because I used to hang out in DC. My brother lived in DC. He actually lived in Hyattsville, Maryland, which is very close to DC. So we were like, you need to come home. But he was like, I work.
So
he just graduated. So for those who don't remember him, and I think it was his stepfather?
His stepfather.
Who was John Allen Muhammad. He was 41. This guy was 17. They said that he was like, something wasn't going on upstairs that good.
Yeah,
because the stepfather was really controlling.
Very controlling.
And had him by the mind.
Right.
So he was the one who talked him into doing this. But anyway, they killed 10 people. Between Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. And this was just random as people were pumping gas, loading packages into their cars. Just on the highway, like, because they had a thing cut out in the trunk where the gun stuck out. And, like, people would be driving, and then they'd shoot them just for...
Gas stations, right?
Yeah, gas station. I remember they shot the girl at the gas station, and then they got to Tyson's, and that's where my people were. And I'm like, oh, my God, I was nervous. But anyway, they finally got him. And the older guy, they sentenced him to death, and he was executed in 2009. And then ultimately, the younger guy, Lee Boyd Malvo, he got 4 life sentences in Virginia and 6 in Maryland. So I guess he knew that he wasn't going to get out. But now he ain't going nowhere. Malvo's attorney on Tuesday, he urged the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to uphold a ruling that was just passed in 2016. They have new sentence hearing guidelines. So people who were found to get mandatory life parole sentences as juveniles, they're ruling that now as unconstitutional. Okay. So he's wanting to go back to court to extend it to people like Malvo who were sentenced before, so they can get a lighter sentence. But I'm like, how do you feel? Even though he was 17 when he was doing this,
right?
But they were saying that the stepfather was controlling, and I think he was abusive.
Right, he was abusive. They said he was sexually assaulting.
Really? Okay.
The kid as well, but
and he's been in jail now. 16 years?
Yeah, that's a long time. So I mean, do you say he really was responsible? That he was following the guy? Do you say that he could have?
He was 17.
Did he really want? Did he ever try to escape because he knew that it was wrong what it was that they were doing?
Obviously, he's going to need some like
counseling.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But what was his thought process? That's what I'm saying. Did he ever want to leave? Was he that intimidated, that afraid of the man to stay? You know what I mean? But like you said, he was just a 17-year-old kid. I mean, where's our mind at 17? We're doing more following than leading.
18 years old, you can do anything. So.
Well, I mean, that's true too. And I was surprised that when I heard about the snipers, I was surprised that they were African American.
I was shocked.
That
at
is
too.
the percentage of African American snipers are extremely low.
Yeah,
extremely low. That's something that we don't do.
I don't. I tried to say let him stay there, but then I'm like, people. He was young. And then the circumstances that he was in, he's been in there 16 years. I don't say let him out right now, but definitely 4 life sentences in Virginia and 6 in Maryland. They can, I think they can reduce it. But I'm like, then you ask yourself, what if that was one of my relatives that he killed? What if that was my mom that was pumping gas?
Right.
Would you? I don't know if I could be Robert Crown and easily forgive like that.
I see that happening with like different circumstances though, because it's like some 15-year-olds like. They'll like rob like a store or something. They'll do something like very, very minimum, and they'll get like 20 years for it. That's why they passed the law originally. But in this circumstance, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
I feel like just due to the nature of the crime.
Yeah.
I feel like that rule shouldn't be
applied to him. Really?
Yeah.
Because when
this is an extreme case.
When you are sniping people like that, like it was almost to the level of terrorism.
It was, it was.
I remember it clearly.
I remember,
I feel old. I think I was like 10 years old, but you were scared to pump gas. I was 8.
I think I was 8.
You were scared to pump gas.
You make me cough.
Like when you have a whole
8, 7, 8, something like that. Right?
After you've been doing stuff like that, I think your mind is not the same way as a normal person.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't apply that law. Maybe he can go through rehabilitation.
Right. Something.
But as far as letting them out.
Well, I think that they want to just lower the sentence from the 4 life sentences and 6.
I'm trying to think about that girl.
How long is a life sentence? That has a year value to it, right? 20?
From a long time ago. What was that girl? She was very wealthy, and they were robbing all those banks, but they said they kidnapped her. They ended up sentencing her, giving her some time because they were saying, was it Patty Hearst? Remember that? Were you guys?
That was before my time. I don't remember.
Remember that, Patty Hearst? Yeah.
Oh, y'all remember that? Okay.
Because that's almost on the same level because they were trying. Now she ended up getting time, but not as much time. But because they were saying that she looked like she was just really engaged in what it is that they were doing, they really couldn't differentiate. Were you scared? Were they making you do it? But you looked like you really was enjoying yourself holding people up.
That's a good point because I remember when they caught the snipers, he looked like he was terrified. The other guy, the older guy, he looked like he was just boasting and like he had no remorse. But the other guy really looked like he was terrified. So I can believe the abuse, and I think the mom had said that he was abused. The stepfather abused him and stuff like that.
Well, that's my other question. How did he get her kid?
He was the stepfather.
No.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, I guess so.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
I guess he could have been branded from a kid too, though.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's true too.
As far as like he could have started when he was 10, just abusing them sexually, mentally.
Yeah.
Oh, we have some comments.
Yeah, we missed it.
Oh, we missed it.
The window. It was about the trans.
Oh,
the marriage.
Wow.
Yeah, we missed
it.
Oh, what did they say?
Yeah, they.
I said, hell no.
She went into marriage with the seed, and he can't be mad.
Oh yeah, we have to pay attention to that.
Yeah,
okay.
He said, what did he say?
She went into the marriage with deceit, one person said. And then the other one said, he can't be mad. He is a whole man. So they basically agree with you.
He's a
whole man.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said
what does that mean?
The guy, her.
Her. Yeah. She's legally her.
Is a her man.
Oh, that's
terrible.
Yeah.
Use your nice words.
Another separate case that was in the news like a couple of months ago was Centoya Brown.
Who?
Kim Kardashian put it on her Instagram and whatnot, and she was gonna help her out. She got sentenced to like 40 years in prison when she was like 16 years old.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that sexual assault.
We're having a generational gap because I don't know what you're talking about.
Sexually assaulted her, and they gave her 40 years for that. So that's probably
for 40 years.
Yeah, they gave her like 40 to 50 years in prison, and they're trying to get her out now, but
that's a lot.
That's why that law got passed because they're sentencing these 16-year-olds to crimes that they kind of had to commit to keep their lives.
And he's trying to get it retroactive to Malvo.
In that circumstance, I don't think that
it should apply.
It should apply to people.
All right, when y'all have a topic
about Jill Scott about the prenup.
Okay.
How her husband thinks that he's entitled to some money. I think these guys that go into the marriage signing or not signing the prenup, I don't know why they think they're entitled to money, and you know that you really didn't work for it. And
how do you work for money in the marriage?
The same way. Okay, so wait a second. Hold it. So the same way. Well, I'm just going to say this. The same way your husband or significant other can be like, oh, I need to borrow XYZ. Or they tell you, go to them and you be like, I need some money. Oh, I'll let you borrow it, but you have to pay me back.
There's a couple ways you can work for them.
So, yeah, you see, yeah. I thought that would put you on the struggle bus. But what I'm saying is that, I mean, that's the same thing with Mary J. You know, her husband thinks he's entitled to so much. You right. You ain't seen one note.
So why is it that when we get divorced, the first thing, well, I'm going to take you for everything you got when I get my hair. Again, I have clients. I'm consulting an attorney now to see what my rights are. I'm like, did you work? Your check is your rights. But
she did work. Let me just back that train up. She did work.
Who worked?
The wife. Because she works outside of the home.
Mm-hmm.
She comes home, right? So she comes to that second job.
Mm-hmm.
She just gets enough time to chill for like a half an hour or so. You got to take your clothes off.
Now, remember, earlier in the conversation tonight, you were complaining because I said take care of my needs, too.
Right, this is the same.
See how y'all keep switching it back as it applies?
I'm not switching it back. But I'm just telling you that, you know, she has to come home double duty and cook, clean, take care of the kids, make sure they get the homework, fill out the papers, all of that stuff. May have to take out the trash. Then you want me to help you with the yard work. You want me to help you do all of that. Mm-hmm. And then you want some of my coins on top of it? When does it stop?
So you don't think...
That's why
women is it because he's a man? Because I also heard somebody... Was it you who posted get a job? Somebody on my Facebook, somebody posted that he should get a job. He shouldn't ask for any money.
He should
but
get
I'm
a job.
sure if it was reversed, they wouldn't have told Jill Scott to get a job.
She don't need to get a job. She got pipes. Why does she need
No,
to
I'm
get a
just
job?
saying if he was a celebrity and she was just the wife, and she said that she wanted $500,000 of his money. It wouldn't have been a comment like she should just get a job. It would have just been expected that he should shell out money for her. Is it because he's a man asking for money?
Because they made an agreement. And the agreement was that he wouldn't ask for any money. That was the agreement.
That's what's happening?
Yeah.
Right.
And he only won't. How much is she worth?
How much is she worth?
Most people.
That's sad.
If they're going, let me look at
See?
Same thing with Mary J.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Did you know that Mary J was homeless last year?
Right.
She was homeless.
Yeah.
When she got her star, she was talking and she broke down because she thanked the people that took her in. She said just last year she was homeless. Now I don't know if her homeless is our homeless or because she was going through the things of the situation, she had to get out of the house or whatever. I don't know, but she ain't had no place to call her own. Who were we just talking about?
Let's talk about Jill Scott.
Oh, see.
Oh yeah, that's about the same way.
She can give him $500,000.
$5.
She can give him $500,000. Stop being evil and mean.
But I get what you.
Yeah, but was that the agreement? That's what I'm asking.
That's when you saying that he a whole man.
Right. Well,
I think I like that too. You're a whole man.
Yeah. Was that the agreement?
No, it wasn't the agreement.
It wasn't the agreement. But if it was,
so they should honor the prenup,
right? So if the shoe was on the other foot, and I was like, "Oh, I signed a prenup, but I need you to give me some money," you're gonna take me to court. Many men have done that and make sure their wife didn't have anything. What about all the men that make all the money and the wife, these millionaires, and the wives are home, catering, doing the parties and stuff? You get mad. She goes to the bank to try to use her card, and you don't shut her down.
Shut her down.
And she depended on you for everything.
Behavior should have been better.
So let me ask you
that.
I was just joking.
You was not joking. See what I'm saying? But what is the question?
Let me ask you something. So within an equal society, it can go both ways. Now, she make $12 million. If I marry a girl that makes $12 million, do I really have to go out there and work?
What? So what are you gonna be doing?
I can work, but that's my choice.
Yeah, but what?
Will work.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do?
Work,
see, that goes back. But that goes.
I'll probably just be doing music and recording people.
But see,
you know what I mean?
But that wasn't. But that was in your agreement. You're baking on
home dad, and he said.
Oh, now you at. Now you're saying he's a stay-at-home dad.
Exactly. What's he stay-at-home dad?
Her bath for when she gets home.
Oh, no.
You ain't gonna even be mad if you don't get out of here. You are 2 cups of hot. Right. I'm gonna have to throw my. I'm gonna throw my saying on you. You are 2 cups of hot mess and need to have several seats. That's what you need to do.
You don't think he deserves something? Because there are stay-at-home dads out there now.
There are stay-at-home.
I mean, yeah, they are. They are. But look at all the.
A lot of times they do better than a lot of these women out here.
You better have a paper route or something.
House be clean, kids be.
I had one.
That is.
Get a paper route, Miss Nick.
Get a paper route.
That is.
The Bible says.
No, don't bring that in
He
it.
doesn't work. He doesn't eat.
Nah, that's true.
Okay.
Can't go against God.
And no real woman wants to see or watch a man on a daily basis do nothing. That's just not sexy. That's just not attractive. And it just doesn't work in today's society. I shouldn't say it doesn't work because it does work for some of the younger.
Yeah.
They're cool with that.
Because that's true. Because there's at my job, which burns me the heck up, sets me on a forest fire. You understand me? Well, I see these dudes dropping these young girls off in their car.
Yep.
Girl's car, brand spanking new.
Brand new.
Yes, sir.
6 months later, everything falling off. Home's driving
Baby
it out of
boy.
the ground, and the baby boy, and then got somebody else driving
learn
around in it
today.
all day.
Then they go back
And
home
they
and
still
play video games.
right, and then you gonna
Okay,
pick me up.
somebody
But
else out for
wait,
lunch.
here's the kicker. Yeah, gonna take somebody else to lunch, and my
In your
I was
car.
about to say this something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
right. I
And
was
tell
about
you
to-
I'm gonna be late
Right, and
picking
then,
you
right,
up.
and then be late picking you up. You pacing back and forth, looking at your watch. You know,
You
yo,
let
where's
us.
Holmes with my car? Then he
let
gonna
us.
get mad at you because you gonna question him. Then you gonna get an attitude with me and make
Oh,
me
you don't
feel
trust
bad.
me?
Right, you gonna make me feel bad. Well, you could drive yourself to work, and then you feel so bad because you're so
Why you gotta have a car
insecure.
anyway? Because you don't have a car.
You don't even need a car. Where is
Why
you
I
going?
need a car if I got yours?
See, I'm gonna tell you what the problem is with this.
That
one.
ain't no
What?
problem.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what the problem is with this one. Then
Wait.
What is the
that's just
problem?
a
It has to
whole
be-
turn.
you cannot be unequally yoked.
Man,
That's
get out
the
of here
whole
with
thing.
that egg
Okay,
thing.
you
I don't
gotta
want to
look
hear
at it
nothing
like
about
this.
that unequally
Beyonce,
yoked
care
thing.
Who
about.
can she go to deal with other than Jay-Z? You can't have your woman making $12 million and you be like 100,000 in or 50,000.
That's not true.
Because
That's
she's
not
going
true.
That is not
elevate
true.
you to a whole new level of
But see, you
of
need to
society.
you
can't wear Nautica no more.
That is not true because
You
the thing
gotta
of this is
No,
if
that's
I'm in
true.
love with no, I'm
I heard
saying
them
I'm
eat
saying
somebody up because they had on something. I was like, what?
but
That's
see,
it
I
was
don't
a high
believe in
brand
that
to
because
me.
the thing of it is that if I'm making $12 million a year, 6 figures, whatever, and if my man is only making $50,000 a year, and if I'm loving you unconditionally, I don't care what you're doing, you're my man, and I'm gonna love you.
So
So
you
the
gonna
thing,
purchase things for me?
We're gonna pray for you. We're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna come back and see how it works out.
I'm about to hurt you.
You're listening to Let's Face It. We'll be right
Nicole,
back.
your son gonna be missing.
Will Strayhorn and Friend. We'll be right back.
Like,
See, that goes back to what I was
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 4 #1 albums. 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 7 Grammy Awards. 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism. 1 in 68. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B. Console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C. Take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D. Help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I wanna leave my footprints on the sands of time. Leave something to remember so they won't forget I was here.
Former club members Denzel Washington and Jennifer Lopez for the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. For 100 years, the Boys and Girls Clubs have opened this door for America's youth.
You can change a child's future. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
To learn how you can support your local Boys and Girls Clubs, visit greatfutures.org.
You're now listening to Let's Face It with Will Strayhorn and friends. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. All right, we're at the end of the show. This was a fun show.
It was so much fun.
Season premiere. This is our 7th
Very
season.
engaging.
Thank you all for coming in. Jada, you rock.
Oh, thank you so
You
much.
rock. So like I said, one of my special guests was Michael Jamil, jazz saxophonist, as he let us know a couple times tonight.
Yeah, like a whole lot of
He's a
times.
jazz saxophonist.
Gotta
So
let 'em know.
we didn't give you an opportunity to tell us about yourself, your brand, and if you have anything that we can attend coming up.
Most definitely. One thing is I'm releasing a film soon.
Oh, okay.
I
How about what?
haven't got the exact date yet, but it's going to be in the next couple of months.
Okay.
It's called Black Magic. It's about a young author. He's in an environment that's not so ideal, and him and his friends get together and they end up getting into some trouble.
Oh. Did you produce it or anything like this, or you just act? You did all of that.
Mm-hmm. Acted and produced it and directed.
Look out, Jacoby,
Yeah.
DeBouvier.
You are funny.
The new breed in
It's
town.
not easy though.
Yeah.
Definitely not an easy thing.
I am so proud of you. I remember him when he was little in his Easter suit. You know I was going to tell you to say that.
You remember him?
Yeah.
She was my mom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you about. She don't know your mom. She's just good at that. She don't remember. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Welcome to our family, and hopefully you'll come back and co-host with us again.
Most
Did you have fun?
I did. I do want to say one thing too. With my music, it's Black Magic. That's the album, and you can find it iTunes, Apple Music, everything like that. On social media, I'm at Michael Jamil. That's MICHAEL GIAMILLE. But I do want to say with the film, NSU is going to be sponsoring it. So
really,
I actually got into theater through Professor Stockert. Shout out to NSU Theater, by the way.
that is a big sponsor, and she ain't got the camera going.
Over there acting crazy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really nice, man. I went and looked at the facility with him and everything like that, and it was just.
So we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go represent the show.
So do we get to dress up and come to the premiere and sit in VIP seating?
Oh, well, of course. It's gonna be invite only because it is with the school, and it can't be any kind of like I'm doing any business or anything like that. So I will definitely get your emails and send it to you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be right there.
The soundtrack is the album, so you can go check the album out too, and they kind of give you a preview of the film.
Okay.
I got a preview on my YouTube too.
Okay, sounds great.
I like that.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. I just want to ask you guys one question before we close. All three of you can answer it too. So, what do you owe yourself in 2018?
Wow.
You can. Whoever wants to go first. What do you owe yourself 2018? Don't say nothing like a Snickers or kind of get
Can't
deep with
say
it.
a Snickers.
What do you owe yourself? I owe myself to be 100% 100% authentically me. And like I said, I'm in therapy to help me get to that point.
Yes.
But that's my goal in my entirety. This is me, take it or leave it. That's my goal for 2018.
Mine, again, is to be a risk taker.
Okay.
To become brave, and to know more of me. That's my goal.
Okay.
I feel like I owe myself consistency.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
That's one of the hardest things, man. It's consistency, and cause like me, I'm very ambitious, very driven, and it's like I can go, but it's like, am I going 120%, 24/7? That's the hard part. You know what I mean? Because in this life, there's really no sleep. You kind of have to be addicted. That's actually one of the tracks to Addiction. My mom sings on that one. But you got to be like obsessed. That's another one, obsession. But and that's why I watch Eric Thomas. I don't know if you know who Eric Thomas is, the hip hop preacher.
Yeah.
And it's like the same stuff that Robert
Crown was talking about. Yeah.
He said on his YouTube page. So that's why I was writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, that's it. You have to be, but it has to be consistent. You can't say, oh, I did this Monday, Tuesday, and then stop Wednesday.
Right.
Because you're breaking that train. But if you do those steps consistently,
keep that momentum going. Yeah.
So that's what I owe myself.
Okay.
I owe myself great work ethic. In high school, I had a lot of leadership skills, and I had a lot of leadership within multiple organizations, and I want to take that and like make it into something in college. I don't know what it is yet, but I want to keep on going towards the right path, see where it will take me. I am just starting.
Yeah, because you're a freshman, right?
Yes, I am.
So you won't be leaving us anytime soon.
Oh, no.
Okay. Wonderful.
I'll be here.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, any closing remarks before we go?
I had like an awesome time.
Awesome time.
I did.
Pretty fun.
Yes, it was fun.
Did you? Was it easy?
Oh,
Did you have fun?
I enjoyed myself.
You did? All right. Well, we'll be here next week. I don't know who's going to be on the show. I should know that. What do you say? Oh, no.
What is it, President's Day or something?
No, they're just renovating the studio.
Yes,
So there will be no show next week. We won't be back until the 30th. No, we won't be back until the February the 7th.
Oh.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
I think it has something.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
I think they're renovating some with the TV side of WODU.
Oh, just the TV. So nothing here?
So. I don't think anything in here is going to change.
That sucks, but okay. All right. So join us here. Same place, same time, same station. On Wednesday, February the 7th, 2018. Meet us here.
I do want to say thank you, Will, and Paula, and Jada for having me with you guys.
Thank you. Enjoyed having you here. Like your energy. Thank you.
Thank you all too.
So until next week, everybody be blessed.
Thank you for listening to Let's Face It with Will Strayhorn and Friends. Please be sure to visit us on the web at letsfaceitradio.com and at Let's Face It